Hello, everyone. I'd like to show you some ideas that I use when I try to resurrect a piece that I used to be able to play a little bit when I was younger. I never did get it professionally proper, but so I'm going to make corrections in the way I practice it now. Amadeus is standing behind me, keeping an eye on what I'm saying here. My giraffe. Anyway, it's the Prelude in G minor, Opus 23, number 5, by Rachmaninoff. And it's a well-known piece, and it's lots of fun to play, but it's very tricky, and it's very technically difficult. So I just pulled out the music, and I go through it for the fingering, but also knowing that I want to hear a metronome steady tick in my mind so that it will evolve correctly time-wise as it develops, as I play, as I learn it. So the fingering is really, really critical. And so I take a good pen and I write in what I want to mark for when I see something that feels right, then I'll put it in, or if it's fingering they've put in and I want it bold, bright letters for me to, or numbers for me to see that more clearly, then I put that in. So I'll just show you slowly. Well, it's this piece here that goes. Even that's not good. So when I go slowly, I'm thinking of the harmony. The piece is in G minor, so that's two flats, like B flat major, so it's. So the tonic triad is G, B flat, D. And that's what the chord is at the beginning. So those are the notes of the first bar. First two bars practically. Anyway, it's 1, 2. So the and is on the start of the 2/16. 1 and 2 and 3. And I try to feel that my wrist is like the horsehair of a violin bow. You don't tighten it with the frog too tight and get a nasally sound as you draw the bow on the wire. You want the wire to vibrate, and so you have it a little bit less than tight, and it has that give to it in the bow. And the same in your wrist. When you drop and draw the tone out of the piano, the wrist is like that horsehair. And so if I can think of that when I drop, 1 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1. So then I go really slowly and I'm checking the fingering all the time so that I don't goof and make it a mess. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. And then it's the D. So and then so right away I see I was tempting to want to go to this F sharp, but it's the F sharp an octave lower, and I write it in there. So then this part is a new idea, but it's part of this whole sentence. Then the answer to that. Straight repeat. Now it changes here, so and then it moves up, so it's so tempting to want to just play it. That's the problem. Because you come to this lovely part and you want it to just fly, but you know that it's going to be stopping before you really get going because you don't really know it. So I go really slowly. In my mind, I'm thinking ahead of shaping for what I'm going to play, and anywhere where I'm not certain, I'll take the pen and I'll write in to what I wasn't certain of, so that every time I see that in dark black there, it's going to be in my mind right away to have that correction. So, and this is just G flat, E flat major chord. So that's all the harmony is. It's here. That's all just one triad. Now fingering, and if you put the 5, and then it's a really huge stretch in the left hand. And that's D minor. And you think of your chords of first relationship. You think in G minor, chords, there are 5 chords that are chords of first relationship. The relative major, which is B flat major, 2 flats again. But in G minor, you have the F sharp raised leading note. Well, then the chord of the subdominant, so if you're in G minor, G, A, B, C. So C minor, that has 3 flats, but a raised leading note of a B natural. So, and then when you think of these things, you realize why the composer used them, because they're keys that are close to the original. You've got the key of the tonic, you've got the subdominant and the dominant, and the relative minors. So it goes one more sharp and one less sharp, and the relative minors. So then it all feels homogeneous. It doesn't sound like it's a sudden modulation to something way out, so in left field. So, and to be in the keys, to feel that I'm right in, if I can release on the way up and have that sudden drop, I want to flop right through to the floor, and I want to feel the fingers going down and through the wrist, drawing that tone. And it's like they're bringing, if you had a skyscraper in front of you, building, and you release on the way up to the top of it, and then as it comes down, you think of that building falling away from you, and the fingers drawing the weight of that building, the weight of your arm, right up onto the tip, so that you're balancing your body weight and the arm weight and all this huge sound onto the tip of the finger, so that you can roll over to the next note and go smoothly, turn a doorknob and go smoothly. So there I made a mistake. So it's not the octave, it's just a second inversion triad. So then I have to realize, and then I'll write that in the 4th finger on the F. So no. Now the fingering is you got to really stretch. There's your D minor. It's all D minor, and now sorry. And that's your C minor. It's easy to take off there because it's all the same chord, and you just feel, sorry, when it's in this, and then basically a repeat of all of that. And then when it moves into the next section, it's completely different. It's a slower thing, less motion, poco meno mosso. each half beat is a triplet. So, but when I don't play into it like that, I got to drop and draw. Then I make the sounding board resonant. So, but I got to release on the way up high enough. So, and it's to go slow enough that you've got note accuracy with the right fingering. Got to come up to the F sharp. There's all kinds of hidden voices in this stuff. Thinking of what chord am I playing, and you're basically thinking there. E flat major. And so on. So it goes through all those beautiful harmonies, and then it turns and comes back to the original, because it goes dump, goes through back, and then you come right back to yum, and goes back through all of that. So anyway, that gives you a few ideas. It's exciting to pull back a piece that you had once in your fingers and see it, feel it gradually coming back. And the muscle memory is implanted from years ago, so it's not quite as hard as taking a brand new piece. But to be able to put in the poco a poco, accelerando, and get it up to tempo, all that kind of stuff, it's a huge challenge. But slow, no way around doing slow, heavy practice and a high lift and shaping ahead, and the fingers lead and the body follows, and you get right in the keys with all that balance of the whole arm and your body weight. And then when you want to play lightly, you can release gently and still come up onto the tip and balance and create a light sound. But when you can have that wrist, like the bow of the violin, just so supple that there isn't a stiffness as the finger draws as though it was drawing on the wire like a violin bow draws on it during the length of the sound, to create a tone to the listener that isn't tight, it's round and warm. Anyway, those are some ideas I hope you gain from it. Thank you.